Hello and good morning, and today we're going to build a floating island that has a modern house on top of it. I want this build to be really realistic. I want it to be grounded in reality in that it can be built within the next 100 years and look plausible in that regard. I'm going to go off some scientific properties I understand to an extent, and some science fiction that seems plausible as well mixed together into something that would make sense to create a floating island that could be self-sufficient with a modern house on it. Let's go. So right off the bat here, we're going up and building the island. It's, of course, floating off the ground. I just kind of nerd-pulled up to the height that I wanted to build it at. And I'm actually starting off not necessarily with the island itself, but with a big cylinder in the center. This will house a turbine that I'm using to keep the island in the air. It's only one turbine, but it'll make more sense later when I add in other components that'll kind of keep it sturdy. Because one turbine alone would not be able to keep it level. It could keep it up, but you wouldn't have control over, will it flip, will it go left, will it go right? You need gyroscopic control, I guess, in that regard. But I'll add something later that really kind of balances it out. But yeah, I'm just building iron blocks. I'm just making sure it's sufficiently tall. I also, here at this point, kind of bridge out to the general width I want the island at, which was, I believe, if I remember correctly, 9 blocks. It just felt like a good number to do everything at. I also at the top added a cyan terracotta border with a black stained glass border as well. Really looks like, what's it called? I don't remember what it's called. I mentioned it later, I know that much. But it's a nice railing. It's a nice railing. And I also just start filling in just the general terrain and begin going down towards the center with the stone. So we're gonna go ahead and just fill in the entire platform here, just to get our floating island structure going on. My footage got corrupted, so I lost a little bit, but it's okay. Didn't miss much. But really just trying to add a lot of noise, natural sort of generation that makes it look like it was pulled out of the ground itself. It kind of crumbled a little bit here and there. Actually, some cobblestone would really do it to just really add that effect. Sadly, I don't add that, but really would give that crumbly effect. Of course, things that go down to different lengths. I really just try to vary the terrain, add noise, little bits and bobs to really just mix it up a bit. Of course, I keep going back out to look and just see how it looks from a distance, because it will look very different up close than it will from far away. So now I'll go ahead, that I did that one quadrant, I just start doing the rest of the whole thing, going with the grass, all of that. Again, I don't add any terrain to the top of the grass, it's just flat and level. It would be easier to add that after I add the house and the other structure sitting on the surface. So as you can see, I've finished up just going around the island, bringing it all in, making the island. I added a bunch of noise as well as tried to make it look smooth at the same time just to give it a very natural look. A lot of fine tuning all over just to really edge it in so it doesn't look like it was just like a TNT explosion, because that's what it looked like for a bit. But so it looked smooth and natural but jagged, so it looks like it came out of the ground. All of those different things combined to create a smooth floating island. I also tried to bring the dirt down a bit because it wouldn't just be a flat layer on the top. Of course, it would also have a little bit of terrain on the top, but I'm not going to do that yet because I want to get the structures up there first. I feel like it'd be easier to do it that way around instead of putting the terrain in, then putting the structures in. We're going to build the structures first, then terrain. And we're going to begin making the house with a block palette of cyan terracotta, dark oak planks, smooth quartz, as well as normal stone. So yeah, we're going to get right into that. So right off the bat, I do have to say, if you haven't seen the video where I make a modern house in a Cliffside, definitely watch that first, because it's the same concepts and I actually explain it a lot more in depth. I go over just kind of step by step what's going on, why I'm doing things the way I am. It'll be linked down below. But right off the bat, I'm building a wireframe. Just kind of gives me a good general plan of how I'm going to build the house. How is it going to lay out? How is it going to look? What will it, again, look like? How will the different structures interact? Because the big thing about modern houses is they're very abstract. They're very blocky, is the thing I've noticed. So I always just kind of start layering squares on top of each other to see how it looks. And just to kind of hope for the best in that regard. But it usually turns out pretty good. I'm really mad at myself about this. I didn't move the spectator camera I was using to look over at the other side, and at this point there's nothing I can do about it. So sadly, the footage isn't amazing here. That's something to keep in mind more in the future. And actually, at some point in this clip, I actually start changing the way it worked because I realized that. So I stopped working on things towards the front. Maybe not this clip, but a clip later on. You can see it's just layering cubes on top of each other. Anyways, that center section gives me so much trouble later, I can't even tell you how. Like, it's very annoying. I really like what I did over on the back right there with the dark oak, how it's just kind of striping over. That's one thing I really love with dark oak and doing it with a modern house, because you can really create effects like that that look decent. Yeah, and then again, grass roofs. I love grass roofs. Again, watch that modern house video because I go more in depth on what's happening. Alright, so that's the main structure complete. It looks really weird right now. It's a big white box on this floating island that really makes it feel off-weight, off-center. I do have plans to fix that in a bit. We're not quite there yet. First thing we need to do, which will really help spruce this build up so it actually looks decent instead of just this big white box that it looks like right now, because that looks really odd and I know that. We need to add windows, we need to add details and textures to the sides, we need to add balconies, porches, stuff like that, so we can, you know, give it a little bit of life, again, so it's not a big white brick. But in order to do that, we need to go inside and section off rooms, because it will make it 10 times easier once we have rooms on the inside to figure out where the windows and everything else is going to go on the outside. We designed a very interesting space in here in terms of this is very thin. I guess I really didn't think this part through. It's going to be very hard to kind of section off to be something else, but we can already kind of see a plan laying itself out on its own. This is easily a very small bedroom back here. It needs more proper roof though. Over here would be the main living area, I'd say. Up here I think would be an entrance foyer. And up here could probably be another bedroom, honestly. I could easily see a bedroom fitting into the space, although it would be a little tight. I think it's 100% doable, therefore we're gonna do it. So we're actually gonna take in stone floor across here. And this is just gonna become, upstairs is gonna become a bedroom and a bathroom. So about, I'd say here would be where the bathroom is. So about here. And then, of course, the rest of it would be bedroom with a small upstairs, like, sitting area going on. Down here, the big kitchen, we have a kitchen probably nestled into a corner around here, along with an eating area, living area around here. And then this is just the entrance area, because there really isn't that much room for anything else here. Yeah, that's kind of the general plan I've come up with pretty quickly. And I think it makes decent design. It makes sense for the space. So I'm gonna go ahead and fit that in there, and I'll join you all in a moment when I have that. So I've gone in, added the floors, the walls, all that sort of jazz. Now we can kind of see really how the space is gonna section off. I've also included a staircase up here, and the entrance foyer hasn't changed. But I decided it's a really odd space for a bedroom. It's just gonna be like one of those twin bedrooms you'd see at like a hotel sort of thing, like if you have 2 kids, that sort of space. And back down this way, I'd say this up here is going to be like the master bedroom. Probably gonna change this to connected bath instead of how it is now. But yeah, that's kind of how I see the space panning out. It'll look 10 times better with doors and windows. So we're gonna go ahead, slap those guys in, and we'll have a very nice looking house that we can do a lot of work with to make it a home. So I was very conflicted about these windows. I gave them all a black border, like a cyan terracotta border. And it just doesn't, I haven't decided, I really fiddled with it on and off. I think I kept most of them cyan terracotta, but some of them I got rid of. Like that one up there, the top right, looked really odd, so I got rid of it. I left a window there, but it wasn't as big. I really like, so that was an upstairs patio for that bedroom, and I think it turned out pretty well. I again used my stained glass sliding door trick, which if you've seen my modern house videos, you know what I'm talking about. Also, same thing here with the shower, I did the same thing in that video as well. But yeah, just really going and poking in the windows, it provides so much natural light. It really, like, the environment changes so much on the inside. I'll talk more about that later. So this patio here actually was a bit of a mind bogger for me because I didn't want it to be too heavy. So I went in and replaced it with slabs, and I made it smaller because I'm like, okay, this is just overhanging too much. Because that was my other problems with it, is it just overhung too much from the property. Also, that dirt block stayed for a while. I got rid of it eventually though. And just poking in those last windows, you know, the doors. Really is nothing special. I'm putting windows in. I added that little black border around that, or gray border. I think that just kind of makes it pop and really does a lot for the build. So these windows were a struggle, but not for the reasons you think. I think the windows themselves look good in terms of the placement and just size and all those other factors. But it's the gray on white that I'm struggling with. Using the cyan terracotta with the white to try to create a frame around the window sometimes looks good, sometimes looks bad. Like over here, I think these ones look really awesome. But combined with that one, it looks like it could be too much noise. It's kind of hard to tell right now with that everything else going on in the picture. There's going to be leaves involved, there's going to be plant life, there's going to be a little bit of terraforming. It's going to really change it up. I basically added the balconies I think this place will have, which are really only two, one there and one there. I really kept it simple as it is already a floating island, which is already pretty impressive, and having a balcony on floating islands is a little frightening. And while I was building the bathrooms, like the windows for the bathrooms, I feel like this would be a better master, even though it's really thin in space. But this bathroom feels like that of a master bathroom. And also that view is breathtaking. This would be a shower, and the reason why this window's here, white is fogged, normal white isn't. Again, I spoke about that in the last modern house video I made. Same technique for the doors, and same technique for the railings, although of course this time we don't have shaders, so it doesn't look quite as good, but the idea is there, and you can kind of see what's going on there. If I continue back around this way, the entranceway, I really like how much natural light it has. Really big windows, I think it really helps. It was really cramped before. It really helps alleviate that feeling, even though this walkway is only 1 block wide. Come into here, our kitchen, dining room area, which I have to figure out the planning for, and of course this area which has its own balcony. What's going to happen out here is we're going to have a pool right here. I'm not going to add that for a bit, because I want to get some of the other stuff in first, which we're going to get to in a moment, which is the other structures on the island, which is going to go right there. It's going to be how we get on and off said island. You know, let's just go do that right now. So I bet you guys would not have guessed what I'm building here. It is a STOLport, short takeoff and landing airport. The only one that ever existed in the US was at Walt Disney World, funnily enough, and that's one of my favorite places, because Disney and theme parks. But also, really fun fact about that is when you went across the runway, it would sing When You Wish Upon a Star through a little vibration technique and used in some roads. But yeah, it's a STOLport, nothing too special. I couldn't write out STOL because I didn't really have the space. Here I actually built some supports so it's not just floating off the edge, and I really like how these supports turn out. I built them on the other side, you just can't see me build them because again, I'm bad with the camera. I'm really bad with the camera. Oh, that's something I want to go better at. But I think it's grounded well to the island. It doesn't look like it's like unsupported in any sort of way, so it worked out pretty well. I decided I wanted to add redstone torches as kind of like a landing light, but they look so bad as that. I found a solution later on that I never actually showed, but there's a solution there. It's basically like that redstone torch that's still there, just 2 of those there. I also decided now is a good time to start terraforming the outside, as I've done a lot of the outside already. Why not just finish it up? So just add a nice gravel andesite stone path. It looks clean, but it still looks rugged enough to be a path. You know? This tree gave me a lot more trouble than it's worth, but I think it really balances out the sky, like the scape of the house. When looking at it from the runway, it feels balanced. It doesn't look like the house is too heavy. It fixes the island's balance in that regard. Here I'm building an infinity pool. It's not that big, but infinity pools are actually as big as the one I built in the other house. Basically, to make it flow infinitely, I create a little trough at the end. These are how they work in real life too. Another one of those things that looks just 10 times better with shaders. Again, I'm really sad I don't have them yet in 1.16, but 1.16 isn't even out yet, so you can't expect the shaders to be out. Optifine comes out way after it comes out. Yeah, just another path, just continuing around, and a little bit more nature. So as you can see, we added the STOLport, which provides a way on and off the island to cabinets. I do kind of want to build like a little plane or like a flying car or something like that. That's not too far out there. So the pool and a lot of outdoor area. I think it kind of just brings a little bit of life to the island, adds a little bit of noise. That doesn't just mean it's like flat and plain anymore. You need to add a little bit of noise to the roofs as well. I think what we're going to put up there is actually solar panels. You know, power is good. So from here, we actually go inside and do the interior now. This house is progressing a lot faster than the modern house I built last time, and I really like that. I guess it is a smaller space, and we're a little bit more constricted in terms of where we can build and it look good. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and do the inside now, which will be a very frightening experience in its own light. So from the outside, it doesn't look that much different. I mean, you can see up there we have solar panels now, which are something I really wanted to have, and we'll have more of them elsewhere, just not here. We're going to go ahead down inside for a little tour. It's not the best interior work, but it completes the job, and I think it looks okay. So our little foyer area, just a little table with a cactus on it, because why not? Oh, and here we have our stairwell. I actually added a little bit of glass to kind of just connect it. It looked a little nicer. Also, lighting at the bottom I think also looks good there. Again, it looks better with shaders, but we don't have shaders yet, so it's okay. Come in here. This is the main like living area kitchen. I kind of went without TVs, which is a weird touch, but It's okay. It's okay. I couldn't really find the space for them. So we have a little dining table here, an island with some seating, as well as our kitchen. The blackstone works really well as a like fan unit for a stove, as well as you can just barely see in there. The soul flame really looks like a gas fire, and I think I've said that before in a different video. Of course, you have the sink here that's empty. Go in here. This is the downstairs bathroom. It has a little sink. It also has a toilet. Nothing too special. It doesn't have a shower. That's okay. And here is a bedroom. We have two bedrooms. Really, I don't think one is a master or one's a non-master. They're just kind of both bedrooms. This one also, of course, has an outdoor seating tanning area with the pool connected. Just a nice little area out here. And if we go back inside, we have these little plant pots. I like those. And go upstairs. And this is the other bedroom. The bed's a little short, but it technically is functional length, so it's okay. And we have another outdoor seating area. And then over here, we have the bathroom. So again, nothing too special. I've spoken about this exact same design I've used for pretty much all this furniture in the other modern house video I've done. But yeah, we're using the smithing table as flooring with a railing atop a hopper as the drain. We have our sink here, we have the toilet, all the same stuff, the towels. And I already spoke about this window. Yeah, that's the interior. Again, nothing too special. I'm gonna get rid of that torch. There's a lot of torches still, because I didn't get rid of all of them. Nothing too special, but it looks nice. It looks functional, which is kind of the point. But now we still aren't done. We have a couple other things we have to do. Which is, how is this thing up in the air? We have this giant hole in the center, and we're gonna make it so it's, you know, actually grounded in a weird way. So I realized, I think I said it earlier, we're building a turbine here. Just a big fan looking thing really in the end. Got a lot of turbine blades. It isn't anything too special, it's just a repeating pattern, but I did actually mess it up a couple of times. I'm supporting it using blackstone because I just like its dark but like tiled texture, and I think it looks good for just 2 rods. And we're using the smooth stone because I like smooth stone. I just do, and it's a slab, so it's easy to kind of put in an angle. But yeah, I don't remember how many blades I made, but there's several in this thing, and I screwed up the majority of them. I messed up a lot of them, and I had to redo them several times. I'm not really that good at building at angles, which this has, and it's something I want to get better at personally. So that was kind of one of the challenges for me, is making the angled ones look like the straight ones, which actually in the end wasn't too bad. I think it looks okay, it's kind of odd looking all around though. But that's what keeps it up. So this is what keeps it down. 2 giant chains. No, not 2. 4 giant chains, sorry. And I made these out of blackstone. And this is actually why I decided to build this house in 1.16. Is because the blackstone is the perfect texture for a chain block. It looks so good as a chain. I would think there's chains in Minecraft. There is now, but big chains. I also messed up the recording because this is me. And I'm basically putting it into these 4 giant blocks in the ground. Just giant like weighted things built into the ground. I think it looks good in the end. So that's the modern house on a floating island, more or less done. I'm actually really happy with how this turned out. It's always great when the image translates pretty well without much hiccup. Like, there were very few things that really couldn't come into fruition or just didn't come into fruition well from my original image, so this makes you really happy. But yeah, so if you enjoyed, be sure to subscribe. I plan on uploading pretty frequently, like at least weekly, we'll see. And share the video with friends if you want them to see this, because that's cool. Not to toot my own horn, but here we are. But yeah, see y'all next time. Bye for now.